I have a very special memory with my dad. I remember when I was 20 and I'd been going to college, and I just felt like I had a really important decision I needed to make. I was feeling a real pull to join a ministry group. So I went to my dad and I explained to him exactly what I was feeling, what I was thinking, and I asked him to pray about it and just to see if he concurred with what I was feeling. And we waited a couple of days, and after a couple of days I came back to him. I said, "So Dad, what do you think? Do you think this is something I should be doing?" Because it meant me leaving college and doing some traveling, being all the way across country from the family. And he so blessed me at that time, because he said, "I knew as soon as you asked me that this is something that you were supposed to do." He said, "I bless you and I release you from all family responsibility. Go and serve the Lord." And he just had such a huge impact on my life. And I just want to say, Dad, I know where you are. And I know you're in an awesome, wonderful place. And I'm so happy for you. Thank you for sharing your life with us.
I'd like to honor my dad today by remembering some of the things he used to say to me while I hung around with him and worked at his office in the Charismatic Renewal office in Oakland and here at the house. His famous quotes, first one began, is, "Mom's official title is Assistant Holy Spirit." Another one would be, "It's because of my rugged good looks and sparkling personality." And often he would say, "I'll pray about that and get back to you." He would also say, "Don't look at me, I'm just following Mom's directions." If we asked him how he feels, and he'd wake up in the morning and his hair was messy, he'd say, "Try not to be jealous of my good looks." "Go ask your mother, I'm not certain." "What I say, whatever Mom says, so go ask her," was another favorite one. On a more personal note, my dad used to tell me, even though I was only 5 foot, that he wanted me to stand up straight, shake the hand of the person I'm meeting firmly, and look him in the eye so that they would know I was there, that they know that I would be a woman of substance. I just want to say thank you, Dad, for everything that you've invested in me. I love you.
I can only imagine.
It was Dad who got me into basketball. We used to play in the backyard all the time. Now, most families are involved with basketball, high school sports, for about 4 years. Well, my dad has been involved with Carondelet basketball for 20 plus years. He liked to call himself my assistant coach. It's been difficult for him to make the games the last few years, but he so looked forward to them. He would talk about it for weeks, just one game. And of course he had to get to a playoff game at least. And then after each game, within 24 hours, he'd want to talk about the game, debrief, talk about strategy, and of course he would have to grade my team and how they played on offense and defense. And no matter how well we played, he never gave us an A. It was always B+ at the most. Now, he struggled to actually see the game, so between his bad eyes and his head, struggling to keep his head up, he'd have to climb the bleachers, which then meant he and my mom would get stuck in the bleachers. So it was kind of a tricky balance of how many bleachers they can go up without getting stuck. But now he has the best seat in the house. Dad, I love you so much, and I'll miss you.
Surrounded by.
I truly love my dad. I'll miss him forever. He's always in my heart. But he taught me so much, to always love and to always forgive. In his later years, he learned to love in a way that he never had before. Being much more demonstrative with his affection. He respects my mom so much that I was the one getting in trouble for Anytime I raised my voice or said something not nice to my mom, he loved her dearly, always told her he loved her, and no matter what was said or done, he loved his wife, Betty, and what a wonderful man. Nothing mattered but his love for his wife, and I will always, always remember that about him. I love you, Dad.
I had a special relationship with my dad. First of all, he was my absolute hero. One thing I could always do was that I could always make my dad laugh. And that was really helpful whenever I'd get into trouble. Mom would send me off with my dad, and it would be a time of correction, but we usually would end up just laughing together. Sorry, Mom. I was the first to get married and leave home. So he was there for me during that time of transition. He helped me through. And now I've been married for 34 years. And one thing I always knew was that I could always come home and my dad would be waiting for me. He would be there to talk to me, to advise me, to encourage me, and to love me. I think my greatest tribute will be for me to live for Jesus and to tell my children and my grandchildren about my father and about how much he loved the Lord, and to live my life worthy of the calling that my dad had on his life. So that will be my tribute to him. It's my life, my children, and my grandchildren. Dad, I know just where you are, and I love you, and I'll always miss you.
I can only imagine. Yeah. I can only imagine.
I'd have to say my first memory of my father having fun with me was racing me across a baseball field after tryouts, and he was running backwards, and he went just fast enough to let me win. That was a warm feeling he gave me that day. Dad, thank you for giving me the example of what it means to be a true man and to have true happiness. It's when you learn to give to others and share your life and take part in other people's lives beyond your comfort level. That's when you really start to live. And you taught me that. And I want to serve Christ doing the same thing that you did in the manner you did it around the people that I live with. Bye, Dad.
I can only imagine.